Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, February 12th, 2013. It's also Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Well, the North Koreans have done it again. They have activated a nuclear test. This is their third nuclear test. It was fairly substantial, apparently. It was initially reported in South Korea as an earthquake. The U.S. Geological Survey measured it at 4.9. The South Koreans measured it at 5.1. The North Koreans announced that they had conducted a detonation of a so-called miniaturized device. A miniaturized device means that the country has mastered the relatively complex process of producing a warhead small enough to fit on a long-range missile. The UN Security Council is meeting at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today to discuss it. The Chinese, of course, who are concerned about being drawn into a war with the United States or with South Korea, which would mean the United States, because of the actions of their rogue ally, immediately called in the North Korean foreign minister into Beijing to complain about it. We'll see if they can get a handle on them. Tom Bolt, the performance director at Lloyd's, is apparently open to new convergence entrants. New convergence entrants are insurance-linked security firms similar to Nephila Capital, which received approval to come in and back a syndicate at Lloyd's. Mr. Bolt said that entry would be possible if convergence entrants could accept the, quote, fairly burdensome terms that Nephila's new syndicate 2357 agreed to be subjected to. Mr. Bolt said if other folks who do the sorts of things Nephila does want to come and talk to us about working together, then we'll certainly listen to what they have to say. Meanwhile, another Lloyd syndicate, Hardee's, reported 154% fourth quarter combined ratio. That's a pretty big loss. Not unexpected. They're wholly owned by CNA, the Chicago-based insurer. The reason it wasn't unexpected is that Hardee's has a sizable marine account in the United States that undoubtedly was smashed to smithereens by Superstorm Sandy, which was the biggest pleasure marine hit in the history of the business. CNA itself saw that they lost $190 million after taxes for fourth quarter operations in the U.S. Compare that with $11 million in cat losses for the same period last year. In Oman, Muscat International Airport has reopened after closing for most of yesterday because of a Pakistan International Airlines plane which had crash landed on the runway. The landing gear of the Boeing 737 collapsed yesterday as the plane landed. All 70 people on board the Islamabad to Muscat flight were unhurt. A multi-billion-dollar project is also underway at the airport to expand the runway and the terminal. That giant Carnival Triumph 102,000-ton ship that lost power in the Gulf of Mexico, still floating around. It initially was going to be towed to Galveston, Texas, then it was switched to be towed to a place called Progreso, Mexico, and now it's going to be towed to Mobile, Alabama. It should get there sometime Thursday night. Apparently, the ship has been drifting about 90 miles so far because of strong currents. They only have one tug on it right now. A second tug is expected sometime this morning, at which point they'll be able to actually begin to tow it into Mobile. This is a result of an engine room fire that occurred Sunday morning. The blaze was contained in the engine room. However, it did result in a loss of power used to operate air conditioning, elevators, and toilets. The 2,500 passengers on board are reporting unpleasant conditions. Meanwhile, in Japan, actions by the relatively recent Prime Minister Shinzo Abe are beginning to result in a devaluation of the yen. It had reached its lowest level against the dollar since May of 2010. At one point yesterday, it jumped around a bit in trading later in the day. But it is poised now to begin to be at a relatively low rate, which will significantly help Japanese exporters. The cost of the yen has been causing a problem for automobile and electronics exporters. Rod Fox's company Tiger Risk has continued to build its Florida client book. The 5-year-old reinsurance broker has acquired the United Property and Casualty Insurance Company account from rival reinsurance broker BMS. BMS is a company that had been operated by its chairman, former chairman, Hugo Crawley, who recently joined Tiger Risk. Crawley is yet to begin to work for Tiger Risk. He's in gardening leave. Swiss Re may benefit from that $12 million suit that SCA Insurance is bringing against Lance Armstrong. SCA wants to get the $12 million in bonus money back that it paid out to Armstrong as a result of him continuing to win the Tour de France bicycle race. SCA is claiming he won it under false pretenses because he was using performance-enhancing drugs. Well, it turns out that Swiss Re provided almost 100% of the reinsurance policy to the underwriter SCA, which paid out 03, 02, and 04 Tour de France victory bonuses of $4 million each to Armstrong. So if Armstrong loses the suit, the money will wend its way back to the burghers in Zurich, which is where it should be. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.